Well, the other day, one of the people that saw my stuff suggested that I go and try to be on the police for apartment people. And so I tried to go down there, and they said I had to fill out the application. And the application only had 4 questions on it. What was my name? What was my address? What was my date of birth? And how many donuts in a day I could eat? So I answered those questions. I told them who I was. I told them where I live. Gave them my phony number. And I wanted to look good, so I said I could eat 57.5 donuts every day. And they looked it over for a minute, and they said, oh, pretty good, pretty good. And then they said, okay, you gotta have an examination. They took me back to the scale, and they got me on the scale, and it came up and it said, I weigh 16 tons. And I said, that doesn't sound right. She said, oh, let me try it again. She had me get off it. She pushed a couple things around, got back on there. And she said, oh, that's better. It says you weigh 45 pounds. I said, huh? I said, I take pieces of crap out of my butt bigger than that. Gotta try it again. And I said, are you sure you know how to use it? She said, oh, hold on, I'll go get somebody else. And she brought back this other girl, didn't seem to be much smarter than her. Anyhow, they finally got it there, and they said, oh, look, yeah, you weigh a couple 100 pounds. You are almost not heavy enough. I said, what do you mean not heavy enough? She said, yeah, to be a police officer, you gotta be at least 300 pounds. And I said, huh? You mean I gotta gain weight? She said, yeah, you gotta eat some more donuts and you'll be okay. I said, won't be. She said, okay, now we gotta come into this next room and we're gonna show you some pictures and you gotta tell us what they are. And the first one, it was easy. It was a picture of a nose. And I said, that's a nose. She said, good. And she showed me the next one. I said, oh, that's easy. That's a picture of an eye. And she showed me another one. And I said, well, it looks like an O. And she went, huh. She set that one in a different pile. She held up another one. I said, well, it looks like a circle. She said, huh. And she held up another one. She said, what's this? And I said, well, that one's easy. That looks like a rectangle. And she went, well, I don't know. We'll try the other part of this test and we'll see. And I said, what? She took me into this other room. And she said, we're going to ask you some questions. And she started asking me a whole bunch of questions. And they were really stupid questions, like, what color starts with the letter B? Like, I don't know that, what color starts with the letter B? You know, bright yellow starts with a B. And she asked me questions like, how many fingers do I have? And I said, well, that's easy. I got 12. And, you know, I got 6 on each hand. And she said, okay. And she went back to us, and she took me back into that other room. She held up that first one. She said, what's that? I said, well, that looks like letter O still. And she switched them around on me. She held up the next one, and she said, what's this? I said, well, that's a rectangle. She held up the next one, and she said, what's that? I said, it's a circle. She said, well, I'm sorry. This first one, this is a donut with a hole in it. I said, oh, okay. Showed up next one. Said, well, this is a cream stick, Long John. I went, oh, okay. Showed up the other one. She said, this is a donut hole. I went, well, B. She said, I'm sorry. You're too intelligent. You're too smart to be a police officer. With an IQ as high as yours, and the weight that's as heavy as you are, you're too smart, too fit to be a police officer. And I was just so flabbergasted. I was like, what do you mean? She said, yeah, you got to be at least 300 pounds and be able to eat at least 120 donuts a day. And you got to be able to identify each of them. I said, okay, thanks. And so I had to come home. I can't be a police officer now. You know why? But I tried for you. I really tried for you. Yeah. Can't say I didn't try to be a police officer today. Guess everybody can't be a police officer, huh?